This video is all about how to supercharge the results you're getting from any kind of energy healing or focused prayer. Hi, I am Brent Phillips. I'm the founder and creator of the Awakening Dynamic System of Energy Healing and Higher Consciousness. But I'm here today to share some tips and tricks with you that are designed to improve the results you get from all your energy healing and prayer, no matter what system or modality or teacher or group you're working with. And there is a whole series of videos on this. I think there's 8 total. This is number 2 in the series. So if you like this one, check out the others. But for right now, I want to reveal to you such a simple thing that is a gigantic obstacle that's stopping so many people from getting good results when they're trying really hard to help. And it's this: permission. And again, that seems really simple, right? You're like, Brent, is that really it? I'm like, yeah, it is. But let me explain why this is so important. And I want to give you an understanding of how permission fits in to the work of energy healing and prayer. And so you know exactly when it's needed and exactly when it's not. Because like anything in this world, if you know what you're doing, if you have accurate information, knowledge, and you're willing to take action and do things the right way, you will get good results. If you think you already know it all, good luck with that, right? So let's talk about permission. It is a fascinating thing. One of my teachers actually taught me, she would say, Brent, if you don't ask for permission, all that's going to happen is nothing. So that's a nice teaching, but honestly, I don't think it's correct. That has not been my experience. Why? Just like a lot of people, me and some of my students and colleagues, we tried doing healings without permission at various points. And what we saw happen was interesting. Now, it wasn't nothing, but what it was limited results with a lot of bad karma. So what's going on here? Well, whenever we're doing any kind of energy healing, law of attraction, focused prayer, anything like that, if there's other people involved, as a general principle, we must have their permission. There has to be an explicit acknowledgement that they understand what we're doing and they're agreeing to be a part of it. If there's not that explicit permission, bad things start to happen. So what are those bad things? Well, first of all, this is how it works. If you don't get sufficient permission, your process, your healing, your prayer might give results. I'm not saying it can never get results, but they will be much less frequent and less impactful. And here's why. A healthy human being has an energy field that cannot be manipulated from the outside, at least not without permission, right? It's not too different than you lock your door at night when you go to sleep, right? That way nobody can come in overnight without your permission, right? If they bang on the door, you got to let them in. Otherwise, they stay outside. So a healthy human being, a healthy human energy field is like that. Nobody can affect you from the outside. Curses won't affect you, black magic, spells, psychic attacks. They'll just wash off you like water off a duck's back. However, not everyone has a healthy energy field, right? No. A lot of people have holes in their energy field. As an example, let's say you lock up your house at night before you go to sleep, but you leave the back door wide open. Well then, in that case, anybody can just walk right in the night, can't they? Yes, they can. That's the way our energy fields work. And a lot of people have holes in their energy field that allow others to manipulate and affect them even without their permission. However, I would not recommend that. This is why I said earlier, if you do healings without the right permission, you're going to likely get diminished results and bad karma. Why? Well, the diminished results, I think, are obvious now. If you don't have someone's proper permission, then you're required to go into their energy field through the holes. That may not work as well, right? Or they may not have the holes, in which case you get no results. But even if you get good results, you're still going to incur some bad karma. Why? You're using metaphysical processes to manipulate others' lives for your benefit. Not okay, people, right? Not okay. Yes, we're all living within this illusion of biology and reality, but the universe went to a lot of trouble to create the illusion. So let's work with it while we're here, right? So if you don't get permission from someone you're working with, expect that you will get fewer results and you're likely to pick up a lot of bad karma. You're going to create a lot of blocks and trauma in yourself that are going to screw up your life. So I would not do it. So let me lay out for you right now the right way to do this. And then I'm going to give you some options for when you can get permission and when you can't, because we got to be ready for both, right? Not everyone in life walks up to you and asks for your help. And geez, if I had $1 for every time I've heard from one of my students, oh my gosh, if I could just clear these 3 blocks on my brother, my boyfriend, my mother, my daughter, my boss, my life would be great, right? But it doesn't work that way. You can't. It doesn't work that way. So when do we need permission? It's actually pretty simple. Whenever you are working with another conscious, intelligent being that is capable of giving you permission, you must get it. Now, notice I'm saying capable. So there are cases where you can't, and I'll talk about that in a second. So if it's possible for you to get permission, you must get it. Otherwise, don't waste your time. So if your girlfriend's roommate needs a trauma cleared, but she's not willing to give you permission, that's not your problem. I wouldn't go there, right? You need the permission. Now, it may be you go, oh, I don't want to talk to him. Well, too bad, right? If you're not willing to talk to someone about what it is you're doing and why, and if they're not on board, don't do it. So that's the simple rule. If you're capable of getting permission from them, informed consent, you must do so. Now, what if you can't? Well, there are cases in life where you want to do healings or send prayers without permission. For example, your dog. How are you going to do that, right? How are you going to get permission from your dog? Or maybe your grandfather who died 20 years ago. How are you going to get permission from him? So I'll tell you right now, the way you do it is you go to the higher self. Now that's a much more advanced skill, takes a lot more training, a lot more ability. So if you're not ready to go have a chat with someone's higher self, that's okay. Stick to people you can get permission from until then, right? Because again, the higher self thing, only when it is impossible to get permission other ways. And so how do we deal with this day to day? Well, it's pretty simple. When you're using metaphysical techniques, energy healing, law of attraction, NLP, all these different modalities and systems, right? If you are able to get permission, then do so and do whatever you like. If you cannot get permission for whatever reason, right? Maybe you want to work on your mother-in-law, but she only speaks Japanese. That was the case with my first marriage. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, right? I got married and my mother-in-law does not speak English. Win for me, right? What do? Well, if you can't go to the higher self, you must limit yourself to techniques and processes where you are not asking for any specific change in their life. So if you're asking to heal your roommate's headache, no, you need permission. Why? 1, they can give permission, and 2, you're asking for a specific change. So I do teach a method called sending unconditional love. This is what you can do when you can't get permission. You need to clear blocks, you need to do a healing, whatever. You can't get permission, we send love. Now, this video is getting a little bit long already, so I'm not going to talk a lot about it here, but I am putting out a video in this series that has all the details. I'm going to walk you through that step by step. So if there are people, animals, entities out there that you want to help, but for whatever reason you cannot get their agreement, their consent, their permission, there are some ways around that we're limited on what we can do. And I'm going to lay it all out for you right here on this channel. Now before we go, I want to ask for a little bit of feedback so I can make this channel and your next video even better. So first thing, please go down below in the comments and let me know. Who is it that you really want to help that maybe isn't on board, right? Who is it in your life that you don't want to ask for permission? And I'm sure you have a lot of people in a similar boat. Second thing I'll ask is, if you enjoy this video, if you want to see a lot more, click like, click subscribe, smash the buttons. You've heard it a million times. Don't cost you nothing. And now, if you're interested in learning a little more about me and my work, one of the cool things about learning my system is that you don't have to worry about all these things, right? I'm giving you this whole series of videos on all these things on how to get better results. Starting with the last video was all about the law of exchange. This one's all about permission, and we got several more. If you learn the system the way I teach it, you don't worry about any of this. It's all built in. It's kind of like the difference between driving a manual stick shift car and an automatic transmission, right? If you're a really good driver, if you're a professional racer, you may be able to get a little better performance out of the stick shift, right? But it's a huge pain in the butt for the regular person, right? It's a lot more work. And so metaphysics, energy healing, higher consciousness is like that. use whatever system or teacher you like. That's fine with me, right? But when you want something that's really highly developed, really powerful, and that all the stuff is simply built in so there's no way to get it wrong, let me know. If you're curious, I put the URL to learn a little more about my weekend intensive training, all done online. I will turn you into one of the most powerful healers in the world in 3 days. If you're interested, check it out. If not, that's cool too. Again, I want these videos to help everyone, no matter what your religion, spirituality, teacher, process, practice, whatever, that doesn't matter. I just want to give you what you need to start seeing real results to improve your life and the people you care about moving forward. Hope that makes sense. I am Brent Phillips signing off for now, and until next time, please take care and namaste.